There's a couple of reasons why the Biden administration has been ignoring Africa. First and foremost, the Biden administration is seeking to concentrate on certain parts of the world that the progressive base would like it to, or that they believe that U.S. national security, it's imperative that we address the issues regarding China, Russia, the Biden administration's decision to want to go back into the Iranian nuclear deal, perhaps issues regarding Saudi Arabia and Yemen. The problem is, however, that the United States is the largest, we're a superpower. We should be able to walk and chew gum at the same time. Africa is the second largest continent, and we should be able to address many of the issues there before we have to react to them in a much more negative way. Well, it depends on how you look at foreign policy. If you're a security hawk like I am, you can look at Africa, you can look at instability in the Sahel, which is the region south of really the Sahara Desert, the Savannah area that goes from Mauritania all the way out to Somalia. And you can say that this could become a terrorist breeding ground. If you are someone who also, like myself, believes that at the forefront of American power, there must be business, that's the way to tie countries together, then we have amazing opportunities which we are forfeiting by simply being absent from the game. If we are into great power competition, well, there's no more important place right now with regard to great power competition than there is than Africa, where China seems increasingly intent on leveraging the United States out. And if you're also looking at strategic resources, issues like rare earth metals, preserving access to them and so forth, then again, we have to be present at the game. If you want to look from a much more progressive sense at the United States as a multilateral power, well, there's 49 African countries, all of their votes matter. Why aren't we competing for their votes? Because when it comes to the United Nations General Assembly, for example, the vote of any African country is equal to that of a European one or a Chinese one. And so to have these several dozen countries which are functionally ignored by the United States doesn't seem to make much sense. The first thing is the question is asked and answered. It needs to engage. I had mentioned in my article the fact that when we came to the G5 Sahel summit, you had the Russian deputy foreign minister sort of on the sidelines. You had the heads of states of most of the G5 countries in the Sahel, countries like Niger, Chad, and so forth. You had the French president online throughout much of the conference. And you had Tony Blinken with a 5-minute pre-recorded message. Now, that just signals nothing but disdain. So ultimately, what we've got to do is recognize that our diplomats need to be engaged in the issue. Tony Blinken came into the State Department and the Biden administration more broadly talking about how diplomacy is back. But what we see is actually a dysfunction within the State Department where diplomacy is not back. And I'm afraid what Tony Blinken is doing is repeating the mistakes of the Trump administration and frankly, the Obama administration before that, where instead of tapping into the State Department bureaucracy to maximize the ability and the capacity of American diplomacy, it seems that Tony Blinken is just working with maybe a dozen aides around him and ignoring the rest of the building. And unfortunately, among those whom he is ignoring is the entire Africa Bureau, which could be giving him much better advice.